Alright, like, click, and subscribe, do all that. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Monster Run. Jimo, an outcast who can see monsters, teams up with a monster hunter to fight evil forces and soon discovers her greater calling. So it's a fan fiction Chinese movie that came out last year. It's an hour and 44 minutes long. No spoiler this time around. I'm just going to give you the basic info about this movie. Some good Chinese sci-fi fan fiction for your soul. So here we have Jimo, and right off the back, she's being evaluated for psychiatric reasons. She actually sees a monster crawling across the doctor's hand, but he doesn't see it, obviously. It ends up scratching the doctor, but she just assures him it's probably a paper cut or something. You know, she don't want to seem crazy. She's just trying to get the hell up out of there. So she has a good evaluation. She tries calling her mom, but her mom never answers the phone. She also works at this convenience store where, you know, business is not really booming like that. She gets scolded by her boss for not putting up the inventory fast enough, and basically sends her outside in his mascot uniform to post up flyers. While she's doing it, this guy comes up out of nowhere, you know, saying he's a monster hunter. He's out there to kill monsters. She tells him he can't go in the store because it's closed, but obviously he's not listening. They go back in the store and see a couple bodies of the employees all frozen. Come to find out there's some cold monster that's about to be released. By the way, this guy has a paper airplane friend. He just calls him Paper. He shifts shapes into whatever he wants to. He tells her to stay in a room where she's safe so he can kill this monster. But every now and then her eyes start glowing blue and you're thinking to yourself, like, what is going on with her? While all that's going on, the monster gets set free. But while they're fighting the monster, we notice that the monster was specifically talking at her for some reason. So it was like, then Paper turns into some cool badass for a second. Or at least we thought. But it was really just a distraction because he couldn't do nothing to the monster. But it was all designed for Jimo to trap him in some type of transmutation circle or some Full Metal Alchemist shit. And they turn the monster into a crystal. So his situation, he turns monsters into crystals to sell them to other monster hunters so he can get money, I guess. I don't know. And she's grateful that he saved her life, but the store was left a wreck. And some lady named Lotus was watching the action through some type of crystal ball, I guess. I'll explain her in a minute. He goes back home to rest. Jimo goes home and finds out that she's locked out of her apartment. And the landlord thinks she's too much trouble than what she's worth, so she's kicking her out because of the incident that happened in her convenience store. Damn, news travels fast around here. And the only family she has is her mom, who wants nothing to do with her, so she's pretty much homeless at this point. Back at his house, another monster hunter comes over, and he called her so he could trade the crystal for some money. Only problem is he didn't realize he dropped the crystal back in the convenience store. So she just collects whatever crystals he has and just gives him some pocket money. So considering Jimo has nowhere to go, she sets out to find the monster hunter and see if he could stay with her, or see if she could stay with him. But then monsters end up following her. What the fuck is that thing? It's crazy. He gets there in the nick of time to save her life. Then they get trapped on a crosswalk. You're like, oh, they in some deep shit now. But then they're saved by some other monster hunters. Jimo's able to tell the monster hunter her situation. She ain't got nowhere to go. So he takes her in. Now we get back to this chick Lotus and her bodyguard. So apparently Lotus has been the one luring these monsters out to kill her. Why? Because she controls the celestial gate. But in 3 days, her powers will diminish. And unannounced to Jimo just yet, she'll be the new guardian of the celestial gate, which is what her Uncle Ping tells her. So I guess she did have family she was visiting. Now my question is, has she been visiting him like that? And if so, he's known this information like all his life, right? Why would he neglect to tell her that she has celestial powers and tell her 3 days before she gains them? Like, the fuck? Maybe she wasn't ready for it at the time, I don't know. It still sounds like some bullshit to me. And basically, that's the gist of the story. I won't get the rest of it away, I'll let you check it out for yourself. The story is amazing, the animation is colorful and graphic, and the music is outstanding. And it makes sense on every scene. 2 thumbs up for Monster Run on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, and subscribe, do all that. It's your boy, Mr. Big. You got this slogan.